Today's question is sort array by parity. So the problem statement is given an array of non-negative integers. We have to write a code to return an array consisting of all the even elements followed by all the odd elements of an array. So remember this point. We have to put all the even elements first, then it is followed by all the odd elements of an array. So let's see the example. So in the input array, so this is the input array in which uh, both odd and even elements are present. So we have to put in the output, we have to put all the even element first, then we have to put all the odd elements of an array. So any of the output is valid. So I mean, this output is also valid, this output is also valid, this output is also valid, as it satisfies this condition that we have to put all the even element first, then we put all the odd elements. So the ordering does not matter. I mean, 3 comes first and 1 comes later, or maybe 1 comes first, 3 comes later. So here 2 comes first, then 4 comes after 2. So only this condition that we have to put all the even elements first, then followed by all the odd elements of an array. So this is the only condition we have to satisfy. Now let's see the second example. So the output, in the output you can see all the even element put first, then it is followed by all the odd elements. So this output is also valid if we put 44, 10 and 9, 13. So we are not focusing on the ordering of an element. We are just so our objective is to segregate even and odd elements. I mean, first we have to put all the even elements, then we have to put all the odd elements. So this is the problem statement, and let's think how we can solve this problem. Let's discuss our first approach, and it is the simplest one. So what we can do is declare an array and its size is equal to the size of original array. So its size is equal to the size of input array. And then what we can do is we can traverse this array and first put the even elements, and then traverse again and then put the odd elements. So let's visualize this approach. So we have declared one array and its size is equal to the size of an input array. Then I have declared one variable count, and whenever it satisfies this condition, whenever we found, so in first traversal, so we have to put the even element first. So in first traversal we find all the even elements of an array, and whenever we find all the even whenever we find the even element, let's put them in a index. I mean, so count will start from 0, so let's put the element at that index and increment the value of count. So let's traverse uh, this original array. So first element of this array is 10. So 10 is even element. So what we do is, so initial value of count is 0, so let's put 10 in this array, in new array, and increment the value of count. So now the new value of count is 1, so count will point at this index, and also in next iteration I will also point at this index. So is 13 an even element? Is even number? No, it's not. So now I will point at this index, at second index, and the element present at this index is 44, so it's even. So and what's the value of count? So count is 1, so let's put 44 here and increment the value of count. So now count will point at this index, at index 2, and the next value is 9. So 9 is not an even number, so this condition is skipped and we came out of this loop. So the value of count is 2, and in first traversal we have put all the even elements. Now in next traversal, let's take the odd elements and let's put at its correct index. So now we again start from 0th index. So again it start from 0th index. So this number 10 is not an odd number, so this condition is skipped, and now we move at this index, and the number here is 13, so it is odd. So let's put at this index and increment the value of count. So we are incrementing the value of count. So now count will point at this index, and now in next iteration the value I point at this index second, and the number present is 44, so it is not the odd number. So this condition is skipped, and in next iteration I point at this index, and this number 9 is odd number, so we put 9 here, and after that we came out of this loop and we return this array, this result array. So where we segregated, we put even number first, then it's followed by all the odd numbers of an array. So this is how we can solve this problem. So this is our first approach. The time complexity of this approach is on, so we are traversing this array twice, so it is on plus on, so it is 2on, but we can write it as on, and its a space complexity is also on. We are using extra space in the form of one array, and its size is equal to the size of an input array. So this is our first approach. Now let's discuss our second approach. We can solve this problem in a single traversal and without using extra space. So the idea here is to take two pointer I and j, and we keep j as it is and move I at each iteration, and whenever we found an even number, we swap this number with the value present at j index. So the idea here is to put all the even number at left half of the array and all the odd number at the right half of the array, so that we can put all the even number first followed by all the odd numbers. So let's visualize this approach. So let's traverse an array, and we move the I pointer and we move j pointer. When we swap the value present at ith index with the value present at j index, in that case we increment the value of j. So the first number is even, and I and j both point at 0 index. So we swap the value and move both the I and j pointer. So I will point at this index and j will also point at this index. Then the number present at this index is odd number. So this condition is skipped and we move I pointer. So I point at second index and j point at first index. Then the number present here is 44. So what we do is we swap 44 with 13. So 44 comes here and 13 comes here. So again we increment the value of j. Now j point at this index and I point at this index. So in this index, so at this index the value present is 9, so it is not an even number, so this condition is skipped, and after that we came out of this loop. So we put all the even number first, so 10 and 44, and then we put all the odd number, so 13 and 9. So the time complexity of this approach is on, and its a space complexity is O1, so we are not using any extra space. And now in this main method I have declared an array, and I am calling this method sort array by parity, and when I get the result I'm simply printing this result. So let's run this code and let's see the output. So if I run this code, you can see we have segregated even and odd numbers. So we put all the even numbers first, and then it's followed by all the odd numbers. So that's it for this video tutorial, and for more such programming tutorials. You can subscribe our YouTube channel. You can visit our website, which is https://webrewrite.com. Thanks for watching this video.